Hello, and welcome to this corporate courses guide on the answer to the question, sell me this pen. Now, in this video, we're going to dive into what exactly the question is, what it means, and how it's important in sales, or if you get asked the question. So let's dive right into it so we can begin talking exactly what it means, how it works, why it's important. So let's first start with, what is it? Well, it's a question that came about and became very popular after the movie The Wolf of Wall Street. It was a very basic question that he asked his sales guys to test them on their sales ability. And pretty much it became popular because it was such a basic question, but it seemed like such a hard thing to answer or such a tough way to sell because it was just a pen. So why is it important? Well, the reason that it's important is that if you look at the question and look at how you're going to sell it, once you think about somebody asking you, sell me this pen, the reason it's important is because it's the ultimate sales test. Why is this? Well, it's the ultimate sales test because when you think about other products that people sell in sales, they often have all these cool features or they have something that sets them apart from everything else or some sort of advantage to buying a different product. But when you have a pen and you're supposed to sell the pen, it's something that's so almost worthless or so cheap that it's like, what features do you sell on it? So it's the ultimate test of your sales strategy and your sales ability because you really have not too many features to go on to sell the pen. So with the features, since there's no features at all, and the other problem is that you have really no knowledge. And you may ask, well, what really knowledge do I need to have about a pen? It's just a pen. Well, in sales, one of the biggest things that helps people sell is knowledge of their product inside and out, backwards and forwards. Because you'll find that the best salesperson knows everything to a T so that when somebody presents an objection to something that they're selling, they can easily combat the objection and transition it into a good thing rather than a bad thing. Well, with sell me this pen, you have no features, you have really no knowledge of it. What's the greatest thing about it? What's so great about a pen? So that's the main reason why it's so important and why it's the ultimate sales test, because there's really no features to it and you have no knowledge of the product. So you're ultimately being tested on how well you can sell without these two big main factors that help people in sales to sell. So one of the ideas for the answer to sell me this pen is you have to be creative. And by creative, it's because obviously, like I said before, there's nothing really to sell it on. So you have to be creative and come up with different things of reasons why the person needs to buy the pen. That's pretty obvious. But what this ultimately teaches is it teaches how to sell value rather than price. Because like I said before, a pen is almost worthless or so cheap where it's like, why do I even care? Why do I care that you're selling me a pen? So ultimately what it teaches you is you have to teach or you have to sell the customer on the value of the pen rather than the price. Because if you can sell the value of the pen, then ultimately you can sell the pen itself because it offers some sort of value to the customer. And so what it also does is it helps handle hard objections, and I mean really hard objections, because what are you supposed to say if the person that asks you sell me this pen and you start selling them, what are you supposed to say? Well, when they say, I have a pen right here, why do I need your pen? Well, the reason why this is such a hard test is because it offers some of the hardest objections because it's so cheap, it's so worthless, and basically they're in such abundance where it's like, I already have 5, 10, 16 of them, why do I need yours? And so back to what I was saying before, it ultimately teaches you to sell value. Now, how do you sell value in a pen? And you're probably thinking like, yeah, okay, cool, you have to sell value. What does that mean? Well, when selling value, just understand about this exercise, there's no one way to sell it. Don't think that there's one answer. You have to say it to some certain scripts. I'm sure there's scripts out there that you can use to fulfill the sell me this pen exercise, but understand that there's no one way to complete this exercise and be a success or sell somebody the pen. Ultimately, you have to combine what I said and project the value of the pen and be creative. So one of the ways to be creative is to sell a story, because obviously the pen has at this point no value once they ask you, so you have to create that value. So if this person's in business, and it doesn't matter really what business they're in, but you have to present a reason why there's value to them, such as, let's say that the person, you need to project a story to them to where they can understand where this value is coming from. So to do this, you have to tell the story of, well, imagine that maybe they're also in sales, or maybe they're in business, maybe they're in something, but they have something very important that's going on. They have a customer in front of them, they have their boss in front of them, and they have an important document to sign or something like that. Well, are they really going to sign with some chewed up pen that was some cheap pen or something that the other person would think less of them if they were to sign with this pen and ultimately you have to sell them on on, well, what happens if you pull out this pen? It's a different pen. It's not the same as the one that you have in your hand. Yeah, sure, it can do all the same things that your other pen can, but it's going to present a different light on who you are as a person. Let's say you're signing $1 million contract. Are you going to sign with a 10-cent pen that's all chewed up that came out of your desk drawer? Well, sure, you could, but would it look better upon the customer that you have this great pen that maybe it's a silver pen, maybe it looks great, something that's worth signing that document, something that you can say you're proud of signing that document with, that's more than just some 10-cent pen. So that's the whole idea behind this, is that you have to project some sort of story. No doubt you're not going to be able to sell everybody on this pen, but you have to basically go into it with confidence. That's one of the biggest things about this exercise, is that some people, when they try to answer the question, or when there's a hard objection that comes back, is they have no confidence. Basically, the person that asked them is now selling them on why their pen sucks. And they're not supposed to be selling you. They asked the question. You're supposed to be selling them. And so one of the biggest thing about this exercise is, even if you sell it in the worst way possible, you have to own it. You have to be confident in what you're selling, because if you don't show and portray that passion to the opposite party, the person that's asking you, or in this figurative story, to the customer that you're supposed to be selling this pen to, if you can't show that you have passion for what you're selling, they're not going to buy it. They're not going to care. So who cares if you don't sell them? But you're definitely not going to sell it if you don't have passion or confidence for the product that you're selling. And that's one of the other tests about this question, is that it tests your confidence, because it's very hard to be confident about selling a pen. You can be confident about selling the latest and greatest technology in artificial intelligence, or some electric smart car or something. That's easy to be confident and passionate about, because it's the latest and greatest thing. With a pen, you have so few things to be confident about that you have to be personally confident about what you're selling, even though it's a pen. So you have to own it. And like I said before, there's no one answer. So it goes back to the confidence. So thinking that you have to answer with the perfect answer, where it has to be this word followed by this word followed by this word. No, you have to, obviously you're going to have to wing some parts of it, but it's ultimately going to test you on your sales ability, on your basic level of sales ability. You're not going to be able to find too many features about it, and you have to project that value to the customer with confidence and with passion, and you have to be direct about it. You have to be to the point. You can't, when you tell the story and when you try to project that value to the customer, you have to be direct and basically offer why there's value to it, or why the story that you're telling offers value to the customer. If you just keep talking and talking and talking, like I've said in some of my other videos, you're just going to lose the customer. So this is also kind of a test of being direct. How can you sell the customer the quickest? Because ultimately, you got to remember, you're selling a pen, you're not selling a car. And so if you take 3 hours to sell them one pen, then it's like, okay, you're wasting my time selling me some pen. Be more direct. How can you sell this pen the easiest and quickest way possible? Then lastly, the biggest thing about this exercise is you have to ask for the sale. At the end of all of it, once you think that you've convinced the person to buy this pen, or whoever asked you, you have to own it and end it with, are you going to buy this pen? Or how many would you like to buy from me? You have to own it. You have to ask for the sale. If you do not ask for the sale, you will never make the sale. I can guarantee you of that. And so that's one of the biggest things that is basically like the conclusion to a presentation or a paper like you would do in college, is it ultimately wraps everything up, and it says, and it projects to the customer or to the person asking you the question, are you going to buy? Did I convince you? If I did not convince you, why not? What is your objection, and how can I handle that? And so you just got to own it and be passionate about something that is very hard to have passion about, but that's ultimately how the pen exercise plays out and how it works. So thanks for watching this video, guys. If you'd like to, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. I'm going to be doing some more business and self-help and sales content, but if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know down in the comment section what you thought about this video and what other things you'd like to learn about, or what's something interesting that you found about this video versus any other video. Thanks for watching.